Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Edson Eastman, and I am the head of the tconnect unit of iGovTT. This afternoon, I have the distinct pleasure of being Master of Ceremonies for this event, which many of us will know has been one that both organizations, the NIBTT and iGovTT, have been working together seamlessly to come to this very eventful moment. But before we go any further, I'd like to invite a representative from the Hilton Hotel, Mr. Marlon Jackson, to give us the mandatory safety briefing. Mr. Jackson.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Marlon Jackson. I'm the Hotel Security Department. Just before we begin this evening, it's only customary that we introduce our visitors to the emergency evacuation procedure in case one is needed while you guys are here. First of all, let me say that this should not be the Flamingo. It's monitored by a smoke, gas, and fire detector system. Anytime you do hear an alarm, extremely loud, it's going to grab your attention. Stop for a second and listen to what is being said through the speaker system in the ceiling. Our system is being tested very loudly. You're going to hear this is a test of the system. If we have an emergency drill in progress on the property, again, very loudly, you're going to hear drill is in progress, please evacuate. If an emergency has been detected on this property, again, extremely loudly, an emergency has been detected, please evacuate. Where do you go if you have to leave this room? Very same doors we use to enter along the corridor to the northern car park. This is the car park on the hill. A huge muster point sign, so we must be for a head count. Anytime while in this room, you cannot use the corridor to leave. So you exit the door, instead of going right, left, clear signage again, all the way to the muster point area. No drills planned today. So if you hear the alarm, stop for a second and listen to what is being said. Question, guys? Enjoy your rest of the evening.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Ruben McSween, Deputy Chairman of the Board of Directors of the National Insurance Board of Trinidad and Tobago, members of the Board of Directors of NIBTT, Ms. Karen Gopal, Executive Director of NIBTT, and other members of the staff of NIBTT, Ms. Jacqueline Syms, Chairman of iGovTT, other Board of Director members of iGovTT, Mr. Selvan Ramu, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of iGovTT, Executive Management and staff of iGovTT. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed, as I said earlier on, a pleasure to stand before you all this afternoon. My task, I believe, is the easiest one in terms of introducing our speakers, and they will have spent a lot of time in organizing their speeches and remarks. So I want to again welcome everyone for attending this afternoon's ceremony. Today is an extremely special day in the history of iGovTT. Not only are we celebrating this occasion, but later this afternoon, the company will be hosting the sponsored launch of our upcoming National ICT Business and Innovation Symposium, which we co-host with our line ministry, the Ministry of Science and Technology, and of course the e-business roundtable. I say that this afternoon again, it will be a very auspicious time as we not only do this signing ceremony, but as well kick off officially the 2014 ICT Symposium. Let me say how pleased that iGovTT is at this moment in terms of having this MoU and SLA signed. It is very, very, very clear that the vision of both iGovTT and the NIBTT has merged and put up dovetail, and it's been very evident here this afternoon. So before we actually agree with the sign, we will, of course, as is customary, have a number of remarks from our principals. First of all, we'll have Mr. Selvan Ramu, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of iGovTT. Secondly, we'll have Mr. Ruben McSween, who is the Deputy Chairman of NIBTT. And finally, we'll have remarks from Mrs. Jacqueline Syms, the chairman of iGovTT. So, without further ado, I would ask you all to help me in welcoming Mr. Rambo to the podium.
Thank you, Edson Eastman. You know, if you say it over and over again, you start confusing yourself. So sometimes I call it Edmund Eastman, Edmund. It gets to be a tongue twister after a while. So we just keep it straight and simple, Ed. And it works for us. So you've been deliberating with tconnect for quite a while. You know Ed, you know Richard, you know Alicia, and recently you know Kevin too as well, all of the tconnect crew. So tconnect is new, tconnect is only here 4, but tconnect 4 is under iGovTT. So we'll come together. I'm just going to give you a brief overview and put the pieces together so we understand what is going on and get a clearer picture. iGovTT was established in 2009 as a state enterprise charged with implementing government's enterprise-wide ICT strategies and programs. Primarily, we are in the business of delivering integrated public sector ICT solutions and services, with a particular focus in the area of electronic services, or what we commonly call e-services. Establishing an e-government status was and continues to be the eventual goal. In the years leading up to 2009, iGovTT operated as a division of the Ministry of Public Administration. A lot of you probably didn't know that, but this is true. And that's just one stop of many before we ended up where we are in the Ministry of Science and Technology. But we'll go into that because that's like drama. At the time, the ministry was concerned with improving the effectiveness, sustainability, and equity with which public goods and services were delivered to citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, especially in the sphere of ICT. In fact, they set a stretch goal for themselves to become the champions of service delivery excellence within a few years, and this is Ministry of Public Administration we're talking about. A significant part of service delivery excellence had to do with technology innovation and its usage and uptake within government and by citizens themselves. I mean, if you were to think of 20 years ago, telephones were simply a handset at home, and that's what you knew. And long before that, it wasn't even that. There was a payphone somewhere down the road that you have to go to. Most of us who are accustomed to Star Trek would remember Captain Kirk putting out this thing and he had a device in his hand. Now that device is here. So you know, technology is growing and it reaches as far as our minds will take us. So technology innovation and its usage and uptake within government by citizens themselves became a significant part of service excellence, as it should. The ministry therefore took on the lead responsibility for Trinidad and Tobago's information and communication technology development, wherein ICTs would be the vehicle used to transform the way in which government services were delivered to the public. It was against this backdrop that iGovTT, the then ICT division under the Ministry of Public Administration, embarked on the development of an online platform through which government could deliver these e-services. tconnect Online was therefore conceptualized, and the Trinidad and Tobago's first e-government portal was formed. So that was the first step towards e-government status. Today, it presents web information on some 400 government services. Okay. And it's interesting because when friends and relatives and business people from abroad, they want to find out about Trinidad and Tobago, the first point of call is the tconnect portal. tconnect Online was then followed by the introduction of tconnect self-service kiosks. Kiosk is like an ATM machine that allows persons in the tconnect case to fill in and print government application forms all on their own. And these are located at key strategic points in Trinidad. In the midst of all of these technological introductions, government remained ever mindful of those citizens who were not yet ready or capable of navigating government information on the internet. We have to be mindful of the young, the old, and so forth. As such, ttconnect service centers were established to aid persons with difficulty in accessing government information online. To ensure the smooth and dedicated management of ttconnect channels, a decision was then taken in 2009 to transfer ttconnect to the operations of iGovTT. So therein, ttconnect became part of us, part of this family, and Edna reports to me. Today, we continue to diligently oversee the ttconnect brand, now comprising 5 channels: ttconnect Online, ttconnect self-service kiosks, ttconnect service centers, ttconnect Express, the mobile bus that goes throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and ttconnect Mobile. We have a mobile app too as well. Additionally, we have the ttconnect toll-free hotline, 800-TTCN, where citizens have free telephone access to our service centers. As of today, the ttconnect online portal gets approximately 7 million hits per month. And again, the mobile portal gets about 245,000 hits per month. We measure these things, it's important, right? So that we can sell it to you. And you can recognize how good it to be with ttconnect. In addition to that, we have 6 service centers at the moment with plans to launch a 7th in San Grande and yet another in Point Fortin down the road. In addition, we have 2 satellite offices, one at Nicholas Towers, and that treats a lot with TT BizLink and the corporate environment, the business world, and most recently in Guayari. Why? Because the Ministry of Science and Technology has, as you are well aware, the START initiative, or START-TT, called START initiative. Don't let them hear you say START-TT, but it's START. Right? The START initiative with the Ministry of Science and Technology, wherein we, iGovTT, as part of our service offerings, are building 44 community access centers across Trinidad and Tobago. And each community access center will be equipped with a ttconnect satellite office. So Guayari was the 3rd one we built, and it has a satellite office in it. So the next one will be in Maruga, another in Tabaquite, one in Point Fortin, one in Tobago. These are the first phase. There are 7 that we are now rolling out, and Cabinet only last week or so, I think, was approved another 25 for us to build, and all within this year. So you can imagine our pressure. Building on the origins of this initiative, we strive to grow the complement of services offered through ttconnect, so that citizens have more options when it comes to accessing public services. It is for this reason that we are so enthused about the addition of these latest services from National Insurance Board. Today's ceremony, therefore, is really intended to highlight and celebrate what we feel to be an important partnership between our 2 companies. Being able to now administer 23 NIB services through our ttconnect service centers is no small matter for iGovTT in terms of significance. As I told another prospective state agency yesterday, we have to make a big thing about little things. 23 services is not a little thing. So this evening is of great importance to us in the growth of ttconnect, as well as making the lives of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago easier and somewhat simpler. It is our eventual hope that one day the public will be able to not only fill out the forms at the various service centers, but all online, but be able to conduct the transactions in real time, right, and online. So think of the joy of our elderly in being able to say right in their communities, such as Guayari or Maruga, right, or even in their homes, and conduct a business with NIB. Right, that's going to take us to another level. So with that said, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the management and staff of NIB for welcoming this partnership. This is certainly a mutually beneficial relationship, and it is my fervent hope that ours will be a very productive collaboration for a long time to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And matter of fact, I do report to someone. And just before we came up with that, I told him that it has been a pleasure working with him thus far. And what he has done for the company within 8 months, because of his astute leadership, has really assisted iGovTT in moving forward. Just to make a point in terms of two comments that Selvin made. One is the increasing footprint of the brand. We're moving from a number of service centers now, and we're going again, as Selvin said, into Point Fortin, into Sandy Grande. And secondly, the importance of the continuum of iGovTT through the Ministry of Science and Technology in the access centers, in that everywhere the access center is organized, the NIBTT will have access to those services right there. So whether we're in Marak, Tabakit, Point Fortin, your services will be available to every person within those communities. We just have a slight change in the agenda, and I want to invite Mr. Jacqueline Syms to bring remarks this afternoon.
Thank you, Edson Eastman, head of tconnect and chairman for today. Mr. Ruben McSween, Deputy Chairman of the Board of NIBTT, and I've known Mr. McSween for quite a while. Good to see you, especially under a celebratory session like this. And other members of the Board of NIBTT who may be here. Karen Gopal, Executive Director of NIBTT, welcome. And Niala Persad Polaya, Deputy Executive Director, and other members of the executive of NIB, and members of staff, and Mrs. Pat Charles. I told her a name that I keep hearing from Ed every time we ask, how is NIB going? So welcome. Members of the Board of Directors of iGovTT, and a special shout out to our Director Anissa Libokas, who has been supportive of anything that tconnect has been doing. And thank you very much, Director, for being here. Mr. Selvin Ramrup, Deputy CEO of iGovTT, and another champion of tconnect, and one who, as Deputy CEO and Acting CEO, rolls up his sleeves and gets into the action, and he has done so even with this initiative. Other members of iGovTT's executive management team, and members of staff, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Selvin shared with you the history of tconnect. So let me therefore give you some insight into the future of tconnect and how it actually fits into Trinidad and Tobago's plans for ICT development. Smart TT, this country's national ICT plan for the period 2014 to 2018, prescribes over 50 programs aimed at building a knowledge-based economy and increasing the contribution of the ICT sector to national GDP. The plan is consistent with government's overarching framework for sustainable development and dovetails with pillars 1 and 4, which speak about people-centered development and communication technologies. Smart TT is arranged around 5 core themes, one of which is e-government. And under this thematic area, the channel management framework for tconnect features. This means that although we are advocates of increased ICT adoption, we have no plan to part with the tconnect service centers, which are the most traditional tconnect channels. However, as more data becomes available on the citizen usage of the internet touchpoints and other preferences, we are looking to optimize the offline and online mix of tconnect channels. We plan to deploy over 70 e-services within the next few years, and it might be the next few years the way we are being pushed very, very quickly. We have to get these e-services on stream. These e-services will be delivered via the tconnect online portal. The idea behind the delivery is to transition from simple informational services to transactional or end-to-end e-services, where citizens can do an entire government transaction online without having to present themselves in person at a physical office. Can you imagine the difference this would make in our lives? On Monday, our Minister of Finance stated in the budget speech that the government is bridging deficiencies in access to and use of information technologies. In this age of technological advancement, citizens of this country should not have to stand in long lines waiting to be served at a government office. Neither should they have to travel far distances to an office to apply for a government service. Citizens should not even have to make trips to several different government agencies to get a single service or wait for extended periods to receive word about their applications. iGovTT is positioned to be at the forefront of e-services. We are working with ministries and agencies to move this forward, to move the legislative agenda forward, to advance e-payments, and to do so much more. We are also upgrading our service infrastructure to support the online service delivery. Perhaps NIB Services will be part of our e-services very soon. For now, tconnect centers will be offering 23 NIB services, and this is all geared towards citizens receiving services with far less hassle. We are always happy when we can join with other organizations to make the national vision an everyday reality. Our tconnect staff has been trained at the highest levels of service quality, as we believe that good service is good business. We therefore thank NIB, thank you for the partnership in this venture. Rest assured that you have our fullest support. We know that we are all going to work together on this venture to make it a success, and the board of directors of iGovTT has really been asking about this for a while, and we want to make every initiative with every state entity a big deal. We are very delighted to venture on this collaborative journey together, and we look forward to even more. Thank you.
I really want to thank Mrs. Syms for her effort and support, and as well as Director Advocates. I report to the subcommittee of the board, which involves both Director Advocates and Chairwoman Syms. So ever so often I would have sent Pat an email. I remember a couple of weeks ago we were in Tobago, and we were going to a meeting at the THA, and I was asked, what's the situation? And I quickly sent Charles, Pat, what's the status? So I really want to really publicly thank both directors, the Chairwoman and Sullivan for the support. As we move forward, I would like to just say one thing in terms of what Chair said. The issue of quality service delivery. I remember when we had that meeting with Mrs. Polaya, we stressed on that in terms of we can guarantee that when your customers come to the service centers and the buses, they will be offered quality service. And that remains a hallmark of our company, of what we get quality service. So at this time, I would like to welcome the Deputy Chair of NIBTT, Mr. McSween, please.
I think at the outset I should let you know that a written speech is not an indication as to how we operate at the NIB. We do have iPads. So please don't judge us. It's just that sometimes I rather like to use paper to stay grounded, to remind me that where we came from and the relevance of it, even in this high-tech world. Let me first thank Mr. Edmund, our Master of Ceremonies. Is that a correct pronunciation? That has to do with technology. Ms. Jacqueline Syms, our Chairwoman of the National ICT Company Limited, known as iGovTT. Ms. Karen Gopal, our Executive Director Acting. Mr. Selvan Ranu, our Deputy CEO of iGovTT. I wish to recognize my fellow director, Mr. Abdul Wahid Majid, member of the board of the NIBTT, Ms. Lyle, our Deputy ED, other executive members of NIBTT and iGovTT, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good afternoon. I bring you greetings, thanks, and appreciation on behalf of the board and management of the National Insurance Board of Trinidad and Tobago. On this very, very special occasion, the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding and a Service Level Agreement between the National ICT Company Limited, iGovTT, and the National Insurance Board of Trinidad and Tobago. Recently, the NIBTT embarked upon several initiatives aimed at improving our service to customers and stakeholders. Bearing in mind the significant importance of service, which must be provided in a consistent, high quality to our various stakeholders in general and our existing and prospective pensioners in particular. Such initiatives include the Pension Rally Initiative, which was designed for persons 55 years and over, the opening of a new collection center, St. James, with others soon to come, special projects to address claims processing, automating our paper records, and improvement of life certificates, just to name a few. Some of you may recall earlier this year, the NIBTT partnered with the Ministry of Legal Affairs with a view to establishing key linkages with the registry of that ministry. Presently, we are in the process of finalizing and implementing these arrangements. I say this so as to put in context the formalization of this initiative, clearly designed, clearly focused on ways we can improve service to our various stakeholders. And I wish to depart from my prepared speech just for a moment, because the previous speakers were absolutely correct in terms of how we use our technology to improve service. And in departing, I wish to remind all of us that while that is great and is an imperative, it starts with us. Service starts with the individual. And you can implement all the technology in the world. If you, the person, are not service-minded, don't see yourself as a servant of the people, somewhere along the line, we would not optimize that particular objective of having a seamless provision of high-quality service on a consistent basis to our people, of this beloved country. So it starts with us. Quite naturally, therefore, as I go back to my speech, when the possibility of this partnership first arose in January of this year, the NIB was very excited about the opportunities afforded us and took the necessary steps to bring, and even more proud to recognize its success with our strategic partner, iGovTT. The signing ceremony today of this Memorandum of Understanding and Service Level Agreement would allow us to extend our reach to the insured population, including employers. And this would also allow us to extend our coverage to those self-employed persons in the ensuing months. So the question arises, what does this partnership mean? In simple terms, improve service. Improve ability and capability to reach, connect with our people, so that they know that we're here to serve them. We're here simply for one purpose, to have a high impact on their lives, so that, as our chairperson said earlier, the whole notion of our people waiting in line for service must be something of the past. It's just not acceptable. It's a reflection of all of us as a society. When we have the aged, the pensioners lining up for what they would have earned many decades ago, it's a reflection of all of us. So I'm particularly proud, I'm very happy that iGovTT would have found it fit and proper to join with us in trying to make a difference, and we are going to make a difference. So in advance, I'm thanking Chairperson and all the members of the executive for this opportunity. So as I go back, what does it really mean? It means that it brings into focus a new form of cooperation, which would include, of course, the use of ttconnect staff and service centers. It would mean that the submission of life certificates and customers' information regarding the pension audit project would be somewhat seamless. The training of ttconnect staff by the NIBTT on the relevant products and services. The availability of NIBTT's forms and information on its products and services on the ttconnect portal, and the availability of assistance via ttconnect's offices to customers in the completion and submission of NIB forms and related information. A fantastic initiative, tremendous potential. As we nurture and advance this partnership with iGovTT, I'm confident that other services and forms of cooperation will develop, including the use of tender notices, etc. We look forward to a productive partnership as we continue to strive in our drive to improve service to all and sundry. In closing, on behalf of the board and management of NIBTT, I extend again sincere thanks and appreciation to you, Madam Chairwoman. I did not say chairperson, I noted the card Chairwoman, Ms. Syms, and all the executive officers and support staff who will have joined with the executive members and managers of NIBTT to make today a reality. I think we should all be able to look at each other and thank God that we were able to, notwithstanding some delays, to come here this afternoon and make the initiative a reality. I thank you on behalf of all of us at NIBTT.
I thought I was passionate about customer service, but I need to take my hat off to Mr. McSween. For those of you who know me, customer service is my thing. It's obvious that Mr. McSween has the same mantra as well. Just to reiterate one thing which Mr. McSween said, and I'm paraphrasing here, he says, the importance of service orientation of an organization, and I just want to add that, as he said, that we as people, we make the organization. So when someone walks into a service center or to an express bus, the person that they interact with is actually the organization. And I can guarantee you, Mr. McSween, and your executives and your board member, I invite you on behalf of Chair and and so on. Please come, test the system, do some issue shopping, go onto our express buses, go to the service centers, and test what you have signed up for, or what you will sign up for this afternoon. Yeah. As we actually draw to the sign-in time, I just want to ask you to spend maybe 30 seconds or less. Having been a part of this, when Elisa came to us and said, there is an opportunity here, I said yes. And the culmination of this really, to me, shows the confidence and success of the strategic outlook of both iGovTT and NIBTT. Not just the strategic outlook, but also the operational excellence of both organizations. That we came with a product, and Pat, this Polaya, would have heard us and said, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. So I want to this afternoon commit again to you all that the product of the brand iGovTT, ttconnect, will far surpass your expectations for what we're offering you. Yeah? So at this time, I want to invite Ms. Karen Gopal, Executive Director of NIBTT, and Mr. Selvan Ramru. I think we have the documents right here to actually do the signing of the MoU and the SLA.
must say that, having seen it on television, when we sign these agreements, you have different pens, and then pens are retained by the repossessed. It's okay, I understand.
We'll make up for that.
So the next one.
Well, at this point in time, we're actually close to the end of this afternoon's proceedings, but we can't go forward unless we really give our thanks to a number of persons, both on NIB side as well as iGov side. First of all, Pat Charles. Pat, I know Pat's number offhand and put a mobile number. And I'm certain that she would have had a lot of sleepless nights by me texting Elisa, ringing, and Richard sending a lot of emails. It doesn't mean that I will stop. It simply means that we'll get a little closer. In terms of Moses Mohammed, and of course Elisa. Elisa has always been a proponent of excellence, and I want to publicly thank Elisa. She knows that. She knows that. She has worked a lot for our unit and highly appreciated. Richard is my right hand. And he's also what I consider as a son. And a good son at that. Members like Ashmi, who work with us, and Director Ali Bokas, and of course, what can I say without core counts? So I really want, on behalf of my unit, to thank you all very much for your support. And as I said, please, Vice Chair, please make use of the service centers. Come and test us. And if you will find any gaps in us at all, please advise, and I will be the first one to fix those. So at this point in time, this is the official end of the ceremonial part of this afternoon's meetings, so to speak. I now invite you to participate in some refreshments outside, but just 1 second, if I can ask you all to allow our head table to exit first. So again, thank you all very much.